Up? Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Fencer, Pencil, SoundCloud, SoundClick. It's your boy Tone 202. Coming at you guys one more game with another session of the NBA is Fixed. I don't have a lot of meat and bones on this for some conspiracy theory or for the conspiracy theorist. In other words, I'm not making this video to prove that the NBA is fixed. I'm making this video to pretty much talk about who it's fixed upon and what they do with the personnel that they fix their sights on. Now, I'm a firm believer that there's a small group of people controlling the NBA, the NFL, the NHL, so on and so forth. And they pick and choose the person who they want to be a champion, and they build that person up and they tear that person down just the same way. An example of that was last year's championships and what they did to Curry. You know, he's a great shooter. He had all these records during the season. He gets into the last game and he fouls out for the first time in his history. And it was just some, it was erroneous, to say it the least. Put it like this: under normal circumstances, I couldn't see Steph Curry fouling out of the game. Nonetheless, it had to happen in order to weaken their side, so it made LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers win look more viable, easily digested. But but recently, I guess, okay, so now the NBA is fixed around LeBron James. He's 32. He's been playing for what, 13, 14 years. And now it's fixed around him. But before that, it was, of course, fixed around Michael Jordan. And you kind of see the same things happening. What happened to Jordan happened to LeBron James. I mean, other than shoe contracts and, Gatorade and, so on and so forth, and all these things that uh, uh, Michael Jordan pretty much paved the way for. Uh, I'm him in his 6 championship games, and some of them back to back. I think that the NBA was fixed back then, and I had stopped watching the NBA 22 years ago because I believe it was fixed, especially when it came to the last 7 games. I believe that it was all for money. And I noticed how there weren't hardly any sweeps anymore. All those games were played. So they had to fix the game so they were all played. But when you compare the success of Michael Jordan and then you start looking at LeBron James, who is only 32, who is not finished yet, and you look at their achievements, you always say, okay, who was a better player, who is on a better team, so on and so forth. And there's all kind of analysis out there, so on and so forth. But my whole point in view to all that is not so much who is a better player, it's who's being better played. That's what I get out of it. Who's being set up to do what? Who is being used as an instrument by these puppeteers? That's what I look at. Now, I pulled up Jordan's and LeBron James statistics, and I can read some of them off to you. LeBron James, 6 consecutive NBA Finals, but he's only won 3. Michael Jordan's 3 consecutive NBA Finals, but he's won 6. And, I can just read off a couple of what they have here. Uh, LeBron James, 45 triple doubles. Michael Jordan's 31 triple doubles. I don't really care about none of this stuff. Assists, LeBron James, 7,000. Michael Jordan's 5,600. This stuff is almost meaningless to me, but it means something to the people who really watch it. LeBron James, 3-1 deficit. Michael Jordan, never in a deficit. Uh, So, like I said, it's who's being better played. These two individuals are behemoths in the game, and it's not like there's no other, because there are a few. But these are the two money marketers, the major money marketers of the game. These two are set up, and were set up, and they're still set up financially to not only gain from the NBA, and of course a lot of what they do outside they make more money outside the NBA than they did in the NBA. But not only for the NBA, but for other people to continue to watch them on and off the court in order to gain revenue for the NBA. I keep telling people, the NBA, the NFL, all of these major sports, it's a lifestyle once you sign on the dotted line. So I look at LeBron James and I look at how they catered to him in the last championship game. And when I look at these stats and I go, okay, he has 2,700 points. Michael Jordan in his career has 3,200 points. Can LeBron James pass that? If LeBron James plays for another couple of years, yeah, it's possible that he could probably pass that. But when I look at it, I go, he's not only it's not only possible he's going to pass it, he's going to pass it. He's going to continue to pass it. Now let's look at Kobe Bryant. I don't have Kobe's numbers, but when you look at Kobe Bryant, and what he achieved, and people are always arguing, was he one of the greatest or was he the greatest player? And some people will go yes, some people will go no. I will say Kobe Bryant was not the greatest player. You try to throw him in the mix. Why? Because financially, Kobe Bryant broke down the system when he got into it with that girl. He broke down a financial system that did not allow him to go to a certain plateau. Nobody looked at him the same because they looked at him and called him a rapist, which he didn't rape the girl. The girl had consensual sex with him, but she said that he raped her. But nonetheless, the way the media touted the whole event was making him and making him out to be the bad guy because he was the big star. This girl had 5 different other men come inside of her vagina when they did an investigation on her. This was nobody's Mother Teresa. She knew who Kobe was. She worked at the hotel. Kobe stuck his thing inside of her thing, and that cost him millions of dollars, and put his marriage on a very rocky atmosphere until he bought his wife this huge ring. Nonetheless, the point is the lifestyle of the NBA is what I'm looking at, and how they make money off of you, how they pimp you. Who's the greatest player doesn't matter. It's who's the greatest used player. This is why LeBron James is going to surpass Michael Jordan. Now, it's not so much that he may win 6 championships. I can't say that LeBron James will. I can't say that he won't. But I can say that it would not surprise me if he does. For revenue purposes. And if you look at what they did to Golden State last year, it just would not surprise me if LeBron James comes out, even though I don't think he's going to win this one. Next year, he wins in 2018-19, turns around and wins 2020, 2019-20, and then his last year he plays, boom, wins. I'm sorry, within the last 2 years he wins back to back. That would knock out the three-peat of Jordan. Both of us got three-peats, but that will put LeBron James at 7. And it would put him at more consecutive times going to the playoffs. That would knock his numbers. That would knock Michael Jordan's numbers. Uh, uh, it would tie Jordan's numbers, and then he would beat him as far as championship because he would have 7. And LeBron James would still be 36 years old. 36, 37 years old. You know what I'm saying? How long did Tim Duncan play? I'm just saying it's quite possible, even if he doesn't do it all by himself, like because he isn't the powerhouse he used to be. But nonetheless, if they surround him with a team, if they go get that young boy from New York, from the Knicks. Well, he ain't young, but if they go get Melo from the Knicks and put Melo on the Cavs, and then bring up a couple young upstarts to save LeBron's knees once in the next 3 years, LeBron James can still be the face of the NBA. Oh, excuse me, of the NFL. I'm sorry, I do both. NBA is fixed and NFL is fixed. Of the NFL, and still financially be the face of the NBA. I'm getting all confused. I'm sorry, I'm tired. Of the NBA, when you guys know what I'm saying, he can still be the poster boy because that's what he is. As long as he doesn't Kobe Bryant. See, Kobe Bryant could have took some of that mantle because he was like LeBron for a short time. He could have took some of that mantle. He had a couple championships. But when he messed around with that girl, it not only hurt him in his character, it hurt the people who was pushing Kobe to be something better. And some of you can say, well, none of this is true, but I'm like, look at the statistics. Kobe was never the same after that. The only way LeBron will not be the greatest player ever after his after he's finished playing is if his wife tells him to get out of the game early, like in the next 2 years. He catches a major injury and it is a freak accident. Remember that dude from Syracuse who was about to go to the championship game? He came down, he broke his leg, crack. I mean, something like that. Or recently, who was that? Who was that center that broke his leg and he ran into another guy's knee? That just happened like last week. So that's what I'm saying. It's not so much who's the greatest player. It's who's the greatest player being played by the NBA is what I'm looking at. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be LeBron James when it's all said and done. Until they find theirself another upstart who might already be in the game because the way it looks like the way they're doing it is, I don't know, 10 years apart. Then they set somebody else up. So I don't know. That person might already be playing. I don't know who he is. You guys could probably tell me who's going to be the next greatest besides LeBron James. Well, who's going to follow LeBron James? Who are they going to push to be the next great person? But that person is also going to have major, 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 major revenue contracts outside of the NBA, and they're going to have to live as get a wife, have kids, stick with your wife and kids, don't go out in the streets, don't do this, don't do that. That type of life. Even though Jordan gambled, Jordan cheated on his wife, all that stuff came later, but nonetheless the revenue that Jordan created with the children and all of that stuff. Jordan's gambling never stopped the parents from saying, your kid can't, and like, my kid can't watch this. You know what I'm saying? That guy gambles. It's just like your father gambles. So what? You know what I'm saying? Big deal. Jordan gets divorced. So what? People get divorced. It's not like kids can't watch that. Kobe Bryant rapes a woman. I'm feeling. I got some ambivalent feelings about you celebrating Kobe so much. That time when it first came out. Now it's not. It's all done and dusted. But then, so you guys see where I'm going with that. Anyways, so LeBron James 2,700 points, Michael 32, 27,000, Michael Jordan 32,000. LeBron James, 4-time MVP. Michael Jordan, 5-time MVP. LeBron James, 1,600 steals. Michael Jordan's 2,500 steals. LeBron James, 3 championships. Michael Jordan, 6 championships. Anyway, so those are the numbers. But to me, it's who's the greatest used. And I'm telling you, by the time LeBron James is 37, 38, he's going to have 7 championships under his belt. You guys let me know what you think. I could be wrong. And I don't mind being wrong. Anyway, it's your boy Tone 202. Peace.